Hey everyone, my name is Jeff Jordan. I'm the Conservation Legacy Fellow at Mountain Area Land Trust, and we're here today talking with Kristine Helsper and Laurel Dumas from the High Rockies Community School. This is the Mountain Area Land Trust podcast, and we're really excited to talk today about Sacramento Creek Ranch in Fairplay, Colorado, and the High Rockies Community School, and the awesome partnership that we have with the kids and the families and the teachers at that school. So Laurel, Kristine, welcome. Thanks for coming all the way down on a cold, snowy January day to Evergreen. Looking forward to talking with you both about your awesome school and the awesome piece of land that we get to work on every single day.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, of course. I think the best thing to do to get started would be to have you introduce yourselves and introduce your school, and then we can talk more about how High Rockies Charter or Community School, how you all work with malt and at Sacramento Creek Ranch every day.
Yes. So I'm Laurel Dumas, and I'm the head of school of High Rockies Community School, and it's such an honor to get to say that because this didn't even exist in my mind a year ago. It's been such an amazing year of creating my dream school for not just my daughter and myself, but for other students in our community and for Kristine and other teachers. I'm really excited to share more about it, but it is exactly what I think needs to happen in education as a multi-age, nature-based school in Fairplay.
Yeah, it's been such a dream to get to be at Sacramento Creek Ranch every day and be outside teaching kids about where they live and for them to come around and identify native plants and know what animals live in their area and how to identify their tracks. Getting to teach in an environment like that has been incredible.
Yeah, the three of us are up there pretty much every day of the work and school week. So we know how special this place is. But for a lot of people who are listening to this conversation, they're probably thinking like, wait, why is this school teacher talking about like identifying tracks? You know, can you tell me a little bit more about what this school looks like? Because I think it's, I know even sometimes when you have families who come for school visits, you can see their eyes open up when they realize where this school is located. Can you talk a little bit more about what it looks like?
Yeah, so our school is located at Sacramento Creek Ranch in Fairplay, and it is on the beautiful Sacramento Creek. And so our students spend their time outside playing in the creek, on the creek when it's frozen. Mm-hmm. They are outside in this gorgeous natural subalpine setting where they get to interact with the elements, the snow, the ice, the fall leaves that were beautiful this year. We're outside reading, doing math, going on hikes almost every day, going on snowshoe hikes, getting to learn about the native plants and animals that live in our area as a place-based nature school that really hits in on our mission of wanting students to know where they live and understand how their ecosystem works, and then getting to see them play out those animals during their outdoor active time, which is equivalent to recess, but different because they're out learning and following tracks and playing in the aspen trees and playing on the downed pine trees. So that environment is beautiful.
It is, and it goes back to, we want kids to learn. We want kids to learn at a really high level, but we want them to love learning and love school. I mean,
absolutely.
Even, I was an elementary principal prior to this for 4 years. I taught for 16 years before that. And to hear a kid who is 8 or 6 or 12 say, "Ugh, I hate school." Like, how awful to go to school every day. You have to, knowing that it's going to suck and you're going to hate it. Like, that's not what we want. And so we have succeeded already in this pilot year of having kids who love going to school every day, who cry literally, like real tears when they hear you're going to have 2 weeks off for the holidays. There will be no school. It's like,
Yeah.
no. And
I witnessed that firsthand this past weekend. And on the flip side of that is that on Monday morning this week, when kids started to show up with their parents for drop off, there was like a very palpable like sense of like excitement to be at school for the week and to be getting back into that like environment, that routine, which
yeah,
I think is really cool. It like speaks to, I think it shows like that you're succeeding in what you're trying to do and like getting these kids to love learning and love being at school.
So great to hear. And as an administrator, I've had to be a cheerleader for teachers who are like, I have anxiety every Sunday night about going back to school.
Yeah, Sunday scaries.
Sunday scaries. I don't see my kids after school because I'm working too hard to plan these lessons that I'm not really connecting with. And that was really important to me too, is this should, like, I'm a passionate educator. I want to go to school and love being there every day. I mean, I'm really maybe spoiled to get to say that, but that's what was important. If we're going to put all this love and energy into it, we want to feel good doing it too. And so that's a long-winded way of saying that love of learning is a huge part of our mission, and we want to make sure that not just students love being there, but they love finding out more. And one surprise that we've had, or I've had, I think you too, is when we started out, Kristine had a unit on beavers because we're at the beaver ponds.
Absolutely.
Well, all of a sudden, nobody said this. Every single outdoor active time was kids in different like beaver communities acting it out. And they would run up to us and say, well, what are they nocturnal or not?
Or diurnal.
Like,
yeah.
Like when do they go to bed? I got this one. At what age did they move out of the nest? And you give them a quick answer, or I go, I don't know. And then they ask your friend.
Cool. Let's go figure it out and learn.
And then as soon as they know, okay, thanks. And then they boom, run, and something happens out in the creek. And I'm not sure what it is, but they're acting that out. Well, then we learn about wolves. Suddenly it's beavers versus wolves. Maybe a Tyrannosaurus Rex thrown in there because you have
they're
to.
7. Yeah.
But they're playing that out. And so the idea is that you love learning and that learning is all around you all the time, whether there's a teacher going or not,
Right.
The learning is happening.
Well, and as an educator, when I teach them a new skill, they get so excited that I'll get hugs for teaching how to divide. Or I will have students that are like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And then they go and share it with the younger students. And they get so excited that they're teaching our younger students concepts that they wouldn't learn for another couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing to see our kindergartners using terms like impeach and democracy because that's what we're learning and that's how our school is set up.
Yeah. And I think it's cool. You've said, I heard you talk about like multiplication, division, and you talk about like, democracy and like organizational structures of communities. And it's interesting because this school is unique. I mean, can you talk about the grade levels and like the number of kids and what that looks like? Because if I'm, listening to this conversation, I'm thinking, wait, why are these kids are interacting in a way that doesn't sound like maybe a typical elementary, middle school model.
Right.
But it's not like they're just like out in the woods running around only. They're also
Absolutely.
in a classroom setting learning about things that like meet state standards and
Absolutely.
math and literacy, I'm hearing. So can you talk about that more a little bit?
Yeah, so we are absolutely meeting our state standards, and in a multi-age environment, the students are grouped based on their abilities, and we are teaching them math and literacy, and we integrate nature into that. And so any day that we can be, that it's warm enough and it's not actively snowing, we are outside reading, we're outside measuring sticks and learning about counting using rocks and making patterns out of nature objects. And students are working in their individualized groups, or sometimes they'll get partnered up at various age levels, and they're able to teach each other and help one another. And our students are also, we do interdisciplinary thematic units. And so right now we're working on a unit where we're learning about plants and geography, and we're combining those concepts into projects that are real life skills that they are going to complete for Sacramento Creek Ranch. So you guys put in that wonderful native garden this summer, and Jeff came to us and asked us to create signs on the different native plants that are in the garden for visitors to come and understand. And so our students have been learning about plants and their adaptations and their specific plant, and then doing a botanical drawing of that plant to be able to put onto an educational sign. We're going to create a map of all of our findings of all of the amazing nature things we find out on the Sacramento Creek trails, so that we can create a brochure for visitors that come out, since it is a public space.
Absolutely.
For those visitors to be able to see what our kids see, and understand Sacramento Creek Ranch at a deeper level.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you talked about all the things that you're helping us do at Sacramento Creek Ranch, because I'm sure there's some people who are thinking, like, what is this place? Like, it sounds magical. It sounds like it's really, really beautiful, and it is both of those things. But just to provide some context for people who haven't been up there, and maybe for folks who are interested in visiting this property or this school, we're talking about this 71-acre private parcel of land just outside of Fairplay, Colorado. And I think the official elevation of like the front door of the school and of the headquarters building is 10,200 feet. So pretty much 2 miles like straight up in the air. Like, I think our friends in the Front Range, of Colorado, they think they live at like a high elevation location, and then we just kind of shake our heads like, nah, we got you doubled up. But it's this beautiful property along a natural stream corridor, Sacramento Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said earlier, it's in this like high subalpine forested area. I think there's 4 different separate like ecosystems on the property. Aspen forest, lodgepole forest, like riparian corridor where the water and the willows live, and then there's also like some like high basin like sagebrush. So a really cool, diverse ecosystem that is public access. I think that's the really cool thing that I want to highlight about the ranch, is that it's a place that anyone in Fairplay or Alma or Park County, Colorado can come with their family or their friends and visit and learn. And that's part of the reason that we have this property. It's a privately owned property, but it's open to the public, and we want people to come there and learn about this really, really beautiful corner of Colorado. We have multiple 14,000-foot mountains, 14ers, visible from the school, like this place that people from all over the world come and take photos of and visit and recreate. And, that's our backyard. Like, that's where these kids are learning, where you all are teaching. And, with this ranch property, it was donated to Mountain Area Land Trust. And we were told if we wanted to have this property donated, we needed to make sure that education, like environmental education, outdoor education, the type of learning that you all are like teaching every single day, like that was the directive that we were given, is like, make this continue. And like you mentioned the beaver ponds earlier, like all these like really amazing types of wildlife species, beaver, coyote, moose, elk, deer, tons of like migratory bird species, lots of plants and fish in the creek, like that's all happening up there. And it's just this super cool outdoor environment for students, K-12 students to learn, but also like adults and members of the community, visitors who come up to Park County. They all have a chance, if they wish, to go explore and to learn. And like you said about that signage that you're helping us with for our native plants demonstration garden, is we want to teach people about what lives and grows up in this really like kind of harsh but like really beautiful environment. And it's cool that your students are contributing to knowledge that our neighbors, our community members can access if they wish.
Well, and that's such a unique thing for a student to get to go to a school here because, as mentioned, another time, my daughter was devastated that we didn't have school for 2 weeks over the break, but we had the opportunity to share the ranch with friends who were in town, and we went and toured her school, but there was never any like, oh, but we can't get inside because nothing of importance happens inside, but everything of importance can be seen outside. And so, she took them on a tour of Slushville, which is where they play.
Exactly.
We went on a huge long hike and we saw the animal tracks and the plants and pine squirrels. And they're like, they're not just squirrels. And she goes, no, they're pine squirrels. And she's showing them how to identify the nests. And
they're different from what might live in a different part of the state. And and
it was her ranch. I mean, she owned it, and the way that she was speaking of it, and her friends asked if they could go to her school sometime. And then her parents were telling people, did you know you could go just hike at the ranch on the weekends or during the week? I've got to tell my friends. And so again, it's just this beautiful marriage of the kids knowing that this is a great place to learn and bringing other people to it, not because it's only a place of their school. It's a place for everybody.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I love that we get to be a part of that. Thank you for that.
Of course. It's been an awesome partnership.
How great for her as an 8-year-old that she has this special place connected to her home that she wants to bring everyone she knows to share. This is where I live. Yeah. This is what our community is. This is how it fits in the world. I just love that.
Absolutely. And I'm excited because, we will be hearing from a couple of your students a little bit later. And I'm really excited to hear them talk about that from their perspectives, how they see school through their eyes. And it's great to hear you say that because that is having that meaningful education that kids can take ownership of and share. That it's amazing because that is, we only really care about or protect the things that we really care about and the things that we love. And I think that ties really well into some of the things that Malta is trying to do with its conservation work in the Front Range and in the central part of the state, the Central Mountains, the South Park Basin in Park County. Is there's this amazing place that the people up there, they love it. They come from all walks of life, different stripes, but you won't find too many people who live in Park County, Colorado who are like, this place is a dump. I don't like living up here. People move up there or they've been up there their whole lives because it's worth protecting and it's worth keeping the way it is. The land, the water, the wildlife, the way of life. These are things that organizationally Malta is really, we work super hard to make sure that is something that lasts not just for our lifetimes, but for our kids and our grandkids' lifetimes. Absolutely. And I think the fact that the kids are developing those values at the school and they're sharing it with their community members. That's how things worth protecting continue to be protected and valued. So it's a super cool partnership between Mountain Area Land Trust and High Rockies Community School because there's such a good alignment with what you all are trying to do and what we're trying to do. So thanks for reaching out and letting me know you're interested in coming up there. It's a cool place to have a school.
Thank you so much for having us at Sacramento Creek Ranch. It's been a dream come true to get to work in that environment.
Yeah, and we look forward to just continuing to grow this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I know I get really excited just talking about the ranch. I live there and I work there, and it's my job to make sure that the people who come to visit can enjoy it the way that your students enjoy it, and the way that so many people in Park County enjoy it. If someone's listening and wants to learn more about your school, High Rockies Community School, where can they go to learn more and get in touch with you if they want to see it or visit?
Yeah. We have a website, highrockierscommunityschool.org, all one big long thing, and it has a lot of great details about our program. So we would love to have people check that out, and you can email school.tours@highrockierscommunityschool.org if you'd like to come check it out yourself.
Awesome. All right. Well, Kristine Helsper, you are the teacher at our little school up at Sacramento Creek Ranch, and Laurel Dumas, you are the head of school. Thank you both so much for coming down to the studio to hang out and share more about the school.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having us.
Thanks to everyone who listened today. Your support makes all the difference and allows us to continue to do the conservation work that we do. If you're interested in learning more about Mountain Area Land Trust, you can go to savetheland.org, or you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, our social media feeds. And on our website, if you're interested in learning more about Sacramento Creek Ranch, you can look for the Sacramento Creek Ranch webpage. Click on that, and you can learn more about our beautiful location in Fairplay, Colorado. Thanks for listening.